Good morning. Flip. And Tracy's watching too. Excellent. Morning, Tracy. Morning, Maxine as well, sorry. And everybody else who's joined us. I'm just waiting to see if I get a little thumbs up or anything, just to say that you can hear me okay. Because my little green light is working. So I think you probably can. I've had to shut the blind this morning because the sun is so... Thank you so much, that's brilliant. The sun is so bright this morning and I don't think I'll be able to see to work, and plus I'm trying to keep it a little bit cooler for me. So let me flip the camera. Thank you so much for everyone for joining. Bear with me a second. I'll flip the camera and let's get a view of what we're going to be doing. Okay. So I know at the moment the light is, let's put some diversifying there so it takes off a little bit. So morning everybody. Hi Hazel, hi Sue, hi Jeanette, hi Kathleen, hi Jax, hi Andreen. I don't think my computer will go back any further, that might be it. Okay, so this is the card that I'm going to make this morning, and I was totally inspired by Jo Street's card that she has made for me for a magazine article, which I obviously can't show you because it's gone off to the magazine. I just thought, has it? Yes, it has gone off to the magazine. I'm doubting myself now whether I've sent them. No, I did send them. I know I did. But Jo had done some white heat embossing on an inky background and then used a water brush to take out the detail on the stamping. She'd used the big daisy and I wanted to use Floral Delights. So my card does look slightly different to Jo's, and I've also gone over it with a pearly spray. I used the Pearl Mist Diamond Pearl, and I've just been using that with my water brush to go over the top, but any of the pearl sprays would work. Yeah, it just adds a little lovely little bit of a sheen to the card, and I also splattered it as well. And then I've used my postage stamps in the background, just a few of those, and layered them up onto my postage stamps, add a little butterfly, and the butterfly's got it on its wings as well, so that's all pearly. It looks lovely in real life. And then I've used some liquid pearls, and I've just forgotten how much I love liquid pearls. And I know that Paul, I spoke to Paul at Dragon's Papercraft yesterday. He's got some on order now that should be in next week. But yeah, I really love it. I think it's a lovely finishing touch, and I'd forgotten that I haven't used it for ages. So yeah, I should be using a little bit of platinum for this one. I've also got Wilted Violet, Peacock Feathers and Picked Raspberry are the colours that I've used. I've used my Wow embossing pad and my anti-static bag. I've used a bit of VersaFine for my butterfly and the postage. And then I've used opaque bright white Wow embossing powder in the superfine. And this big tub, I just love these. It makes it so easy to use. And it also, yeah, just because you've got so much, you can just get carried away. It's lovely. So the first thing that I did, I'm going to pop that to one side, was I cut a piece of card down to an A5 size, and I randomly stamped my Floral Delights design over it. Now I'm not going to do that because I thought it's going to make me ever so hot in this weather as well, with all the heat tool going on. So I have already done that. So I heat embossed all my flowers on here, and then I ink blended, and literally all I did was circles, little dots, little circles of different colours, because I knew I wanted to cut this up. So you have to remember that you're only going to be seeing little portions of it. And the reason that this isn't A5 anymore is because I literally cut that strip off, and it might have been just slightly, no, it was that strip, and I've made that card. So from this A5 piece here, I should be able to make at least 3, maybe 4 cards. And if I altered the amount I've got on there, then you would probably be able to make 4 cards out of one A5 piece. And it's really lovely how you just get parts of the design showing. So I have inked, so I've embossed it, then I inked it, then I wipe it with a cloth or a bit of kitchen roll just to buff up the embossing again, so it makes it bright white again. And then I've gone round and coloured with a water brush and then added the pearl. Now I've got one bit, I obviously wanted to show you what I did, because so far I haven't showed you anything. So with my piece, you need a water brush, and I did find sometimes that it was better if I had some water that I could pick up as well, so that it was really flowing, because the more water you've got, the better result you're going to get. But then when I decided I was going to add the pearl spray, I'm actually going to pick the colour off with the pearl spray. So all I did, then any pearl spray will do, like I've also got an eyes ink one that would do, which is like a mother of pearly one, but there are so many out there. So I've literally just sprayed some on here. It has gone onto there as well. So I can pick up the pearl spray, and then I'm going to paint over the top. But what it's going to do is it's going to loosen the ink and remove some of the colour. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in with my, actually I'm going to treat myself to a clean bit of kitchen roll. How about that? Spoiling myself. And I'm going to lay that down over the top, rub my finger over it, and it will bleach out the colour. So it takes the colour off, but it has added some pearl shimmer. So I'm doing both things in one go this time, rather than doing it with water and then having to go back in with the pearl shimmer. I can do it just by picking the pearl shimmer up and just painting over the design carefully, because you want to keep within the lines, and then just blotting that with my kitchen roll. It will take the colour off, but it does leave the pearl shine behind. You can come back in and go over anything if you didn't get quite up into the corners, or you want to try and reduce the colour a little bit more. But by blotting it, it doesn't take away the shimmer, which is brilliant. So literally just going round the whole of the design, blotting it off, being careful. I do blot my brush off as well, because I don't want any colour. So if I'm picking up any of the blue colour, I then don't want to transfer it to the pink. So I do blot in between. Well, this is working really well. It's taking the colour out beautifully, but it is also leaving the pearl. I wasn't sure if it would leave the pearl. I had a feeling it might take the pearly bit away, but it doesn't. But don't forget to take the excess off your brush, because you don't want to transfer the colours. You could end up with mucky colours. And the reason I gave myself a new piece of kitchen roll was I had some yellow ink on the other piece, and at one stage I put it down on the flower to blot it, and it picked up the yellow ink. So do give yourself a clean piece. Don't make a mistake like that. So I'm going to come back down to the bottom and just work systematically round the design. Like I say, taking your time, and because of the embossing you've got that nice edge that you're working up against. I'm going to do all this flower. I might need to come back in with a bit more. It depends how well your water brush gives you the water as well. Every now and again it's good to give it a squeeze, make sure that that water's flowing, especially in this heat, because this is the pearly spray that I've sprayed out is actually drying on my mat already. Incredible. So then literally just going around doing all of the design. Sorry, I keep hitting my phone holder with my end of my paintbrush, because I've got you quite close so that you can see what I'm doing a bit better. But yeah, so it really does blot the colour off. And again, don't forget to take it off. Don't pick up too much, because if you do have too much on your brush, if it goes outside of the lines, when you blot it, you will get it taking the ink off where you don't really want it to. So do take your time to do it. And like I say, for me, this is the therapeutic bit because it's the colouring that I love. And so although it's taking the colour off, but by using the Pearl Spray, it does add that shimmer as well. Now, if you don't have Pearl Spray, just do it with water and the effect is still absolutely beautiful. Even if you've got a sparkle pen, if you went over it with the, there were like Crafter's Companion ones, there were Wink Stella that were just the sparkle. Even if you go over it with one of those, it will do the same. But if you don't have one of those, just do it with water. And honestly, the amount you can pick up, you will change. It just looks like it's bleached out. It's lovely. But it's such a nice effect. And I haven't done it for so long. And when I saw Joe's card, I said, oh, you've inspired my life. And she said, actually, you inspired my card. So it's gone full circle. And she sent a picture of the card. And it was from years ago that I did it. So it's rather lovely that she inspired me, I inspired her. And now I hope I'm inspiring you. And I haven't been reading the messages, I'm sorry. Isn't it lovely? It is clever, isn't it? I did decide when I do my lives, there's no pressure. And I'm going to take my time and I'm going to read the comments. But it's so difficult to demo, to talk, to make sense. And to read the comments. Okay, I think we're almost there now. So obviously once you've got the whole sheet coloured in, yeah, I mean, how pretty does that look? It just looks fabulous. Absolutely beautiful. So we can leave that, you need to give that a chance to dry. So I will put, and it will certainly dry quickly today, I will put that in the sunshine. I am going to wipe this up because I don't want to get it anywhere else. But there's a lot there that you could, oh, I was going to splatter. Oh, I am going to do that actually. Because I'm going to tell you the reason I did splatter them. When I put them on, this one was a little bit open, which is why there's a butterfly there as well. So there was quite a big, in places you'll have quite big gaps. And I just felt like maybe splattering a little bit of the pearl over it just added a little bit of interest as well. So I will do that. I'll show you what I did. I just put a little bit more out. There we go. And I get my splatter brush and I make this wet first, and then it can pick up all that lovely pearl. And then I'm going to splatter this. So this will get nice splats. Might need my pokey tool. That's better. So I'm just getting nice little splats. I don't know if you can see them even. But I'll bring it up in a second. You'll start to see them move in some of the ink. Oh, that's better. Why don't I just do it over my, oh, goodness sake. Instead of flipping it, hitting it, just flip the bristles over the pokey tool. Okay, just a little bit up the top there perhaps. Okay, so let me wipe my pokey tool, put that back, and now I'm going to move my piece a minute, get rid of all this where I splattered it everywhere. I do like to clean my splatter brush as best as I can, just with some water everything will be pearly now. It'll be lovely. Now, if I give it a proper wash downstairs, it'll be fine. But let's just get rid of all this, all the glitter, all the mica. Okay, so then what I can do is if I bring this up, you can start to see all the bits in the background now. I'm just going to give the camera a chance to catch up because I want to make sure I'm leaning it the right way for you. I think I am. Let's wait till I keep still. Yeah, so you can see all those lovely little dots. So because I want to make sure that's dry, I'm going to place my kitchen roll down over the top. It's just going to dry up any bits that are a bit splattered. And now you can really see those splats. But it just gives a little bit in between where you're going to get some of that showing when we cut it up. So while that is drying, next up, I'm going to sort out my postage stamps. Now I have pre-stamped and cut some out because I've got one of the big ones done. I've got a little one to stamp and I have 3 little ones done, and I used a bit of my waste to cut to fill those little postage stamp ones up because they are the little fiddly ones, but they're still easy to do. So I'm going to bring in my stamping press. Am I far enough away? Nope, I need to lift you up a little bit, sorry, because otherwise I will hit you every time I open the press. There we go. Okay, so I'm going to put my piece in, and so that's for the long piece, that's for the square piece. Let's get my postage stamps. So I want the long one and the square one, and I want the butterfly from Heartfelt. So this was the one I stamped all the backgrounds out of. So you can see it's quite overly sort of shaped. So it fitted quite well together to fill it all up, but it was using this one out of Floral Delights. And I just want a little butterfly, so while I'm stamping them. Now I haven't put a sentiment on this at all at the moment. I don't really know why, but I can soon sort that out. So when you've got these stamps and they've got no middles, you do need to be a little bit careful with them, how you treat them, and make sure when you lay them down they do actually look square or oblong. Sometimes you just need to like pull the corners out and then just let it drop. That's fine. Okay, so pick those up, and I'm going to stamp that with my VersaFine black ink pad. Just nice and gently on there. Oh, I just scraped it all over my nail. Okay, and now I'm going to stamp these out. Thank you so much, Chris. I think it's amazing. It's a really simple technique, but like I say, I haven't done it for so long, and it's things like this that you forget, and it's like, oh, that's a lovely technique. Okay, so I've got all my postage now, so I just need to trim those 2 down. Let's just pop my sheet back in so it doesn't dirty it. And I'm going to bring in my little trimmer as I find it much easier in here. So with this one, I know that I'm just going to line up the edge of the ink on the edge of my guide. And that'll give me a nice straight edge. I can chop my butterfly off because I'm going to cut that out in a second. And now I know I've got a straight edge that I can use for helping me to cut the others. But like I say, I do know that with this guillotine, where the cut is, to get a little border, if I base mine on the edge of the guide, that usually gives me a nice little border. But it's all wherever your guillotine cuts. That is something that I can't tell you that's something that you need to practice with, and you all get to know your own guillotine, don't you? I know when I go to my cousin's and I use hers, and it's like I've chopped things in half before, or chopped bits off that, not quite in half, but you know, like chopped a bit off that, it cuts there, not where mine cuts. So yeah, it is just a case of knowing where your own guillotine cuts. Okay, right, so we have those bits. That's all ready. Pop that away. And then I need my scissors. I'm just going to cut my butterfly out while I've got him. So I do leave a little bit of a border just to make it a bit easier as I cut him out. Him, it's a her. The butterfly's beautiful. Why do I refer to it as him? I don't know if it is a him or a her, actually. Don't know. I'll have to Google it, won't I? Find out. Oh, I could ask my friend, but if I say it, she'll answer me in front of everybody. Then I suppose we'd all know, wouldn't we? Okay, so we've got everything. So we've got all our pieces, and we can cut our bit up in a minute. But while that's still, give it a little bit longer to dry, I'm going to stamp the background of my card. So I'm going to place my card in my stamping press, and I'm going to put it so that I can go off the edge on all the edges, because I might like to overhang something, so I don't want it to be butted up to the corner. I want to be able to have that option of overhanging little bits. Okay, so let's put my stamps back now I've cleaned them. So when you put these away, it is quite important that you do try and make them sit on the lines, because that will help to keep them in the shape that they are. Keep them in good shape. Not if you don't move that one up, you won't. Maybe that one too. I am loving so much seeing everybody's makes with these stamps. I think everyone's really embraced them, and like there's been some amazing cards, absolutely amazing, which is fabulous. Right, I want this, and I want my 2 flowers. I'll do my 2 flowers afterwards, because I just don't want to lose that stamp. Okay, so I put my postage on my block, and I'm going to use picked raspberry, wilted violet and peacock feathers. And on my card I did one of each. I knew how I wanted to lay my card out, so to get the stamping in the right place, you do need to position. Let's do this differently. Let's have a different layout. How about that? So okay, we could have it like that and like that, and then these could come. Actually, that one could be a up and down one, and then that one could be an up and down one. Okay, we'll go with a different layout. So it's so easy to mix it up and just lay them out differently. So I am going to probably put that up there. Or should I have it? Oh, I could have one in there. Okay, let's go up a little bit higher. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. So I'm going to start with my block. I'll start with picked. It doesn't matter what colour you start with. When you ink up a distressed oxide, make sure you get a good coverage of it. Always check before you go to your stamping, because most of the distressed oxide ink pads have a dip in them. So you do want to make sure that you get a nice coverage on your stamp. So I'm going to have one up at the top. So I'm going to move this down a little bit. I do want you to be able to see most of it, but I don't mind if it overhangs just a little bit. So then we'll go clean our stamp. Next up we'll go purple. So again, just nicely ink up your stamp. Make sure you've got good coverage. I'm going to turn it the other way this time, because it doesn't matter whether it says sent with love or sent with love. Either way will work. So I'm going to have one down here this time. So I'm going to move this up a fraction. And I think I'm going to go off the page as well. So wipe that off. And then we can come to peacock feathers. And I want one down the bottom here. So I think I'll do it that way round again. This is all about in line. So let's ink my stamp first. Make sure we've got a nice coverage, and I want to come down here. I don't mind if it goes over a little bit, or would I be better if I went I'm going to go like that actually. So I'll move that out of the way, come over just a fraction, and there. So now we've got our postage stamps on it. And then what I did, pop that back in, picked up my flower. Now I put the one I want to use at one end and the one I'm not using at the other end. And then I always make sure I ink up in the bottom left corner of my ink pad. Then this one is clean. But what this one's going to do is this is going to balance my stamps so that I'm not going to, it's not going to wobble. So I want to add some flowers around the postage mark, so I don't need the postage in place anymore. So I did all the colours, so I'm going to have one at the front. So again, bottom left, I'll have one over here, bottom left, and I'll have one that way. And then I'm going to clean my date. Whoops, I have to be very careful. I think mine need a proper clean, so losing the sticky. So bottom left corner again, and that way your other stamp stays lovely and clean. This time we'll have it underneath. This one I'm going to do at the front, and this one I'm going to do, that should be all right, should see that. And then I can clean this and then do the blue. Oops. So we'll have, let's go up onto there. And another one down there. And then this one will be at the front. Now I'm going to add some more flowers. I don't think I did on this one. No, I didn't add any more flowers, but I'm going to. So we'll make it slightly different. We'll add a few more little flowers in the bits where we've got some gaps. So we can cut our inked and embossed pieces out now and fill our postage up, get them stuck on, and then we'll come back in and fill in any gaps, because we'll be able to do it around the stamping. So let's move this out of the way because I need to cut my piece up now. Let's bring my trimmer back in. Actually, I'm going to use the other trimmer for this because I want to be able to just trim. So the first thing I need to do is find out how wide that I need for this. I bet I put my ruler away, didn't I? Oh, I know what I did with it. I was using it to line something up yesterday. There we go. Right. So I just want to measure. Can't do it with the, sorry, horrible noise. Okay, so I just need to measure just inside the black line, So if I do 4 centimetres, that's going to give me a little bit of a white border around them, so that's fine. So for the big postage, it's 4 centimetres wide, and then it's by, let's bring it away from the edge a little bit, so that's about 7.7, so 77 millimetres or 7 centimetres, 0.7. So let's do that. So 4 centimetres is the widest piece that I need. So I am literally going to cut a 4 centimetre strip, which is what I did for my other card, from here. So I'm using my centimetres marking to line that up. So now this is the piece that I'm going to use. So I've still got all that left to use to make more cards. Oh, Chris, you poor thing. There is a slight oriental look to it. You're right, Jenny. Chris, I'm really sorry to hear you fell over. You definitely need a treat. Definitely. You poor thing. Okay, so the bit, you bear in mind that this is the one that you're cutting out. So I think, where does 7 bits come to? So it's going to come to here. So I'm going to get the bottom half of my flowers. You could, if you wanted to, let's measure, I think, the postage. So you do have to sort of think about it a little bit, because I think I'd rather try and get as much as I can in that bit. So this bit is going to be 3 centimetres wide. So I know if I cut 3 centimetres from this piece and 3 centimetres, because I want the daisies, so that will be my square bit of postage, and that's looking lovely in there. Then I could cut my 7.5 or 7.7 from here, and I'm going to get all of it, which I'm much happier about, and I wished I'd done that when I did my one. Okay, what have I done with the big postage? There it is, always under the guillotine. Make sure that you've cut it to about the right size. I can cut a little bit more off, just a slither, and then that will fit nicely in here. And then I've got a space up here. I could put my butterfly there, I could put my butterfly there. Okay, so then next up is this piece, and this piece is only about 1.5, maybe 1.6 centimetres wide. The other way of doing it, of course, is decide where you want this to be, and I quite like, it would be nice to have that. That would be nice. Okay, so we know that it's from this end, so I can turn it over. I know that this is the corner that I want, so I can place it down inside my postage, and I can just mark that line there, and I can bring it back here and mark that line there. So then I know that that's the piece that I want. So if I do the long piece first, I'll still have another long piece left to do another card with, or to fill in my little square, my little postage, because of course I've already done that. And then that looks like the mark there. I hope it is. Actually, I'm going to check. Yes, it is. Don't want to cut it and then that was not the mark. So those bits are spare, but I wouldn't throw any of it away. There we are, we've got some nice bits there now. That's perfect. Because all these little bits are perfect to fill in your little postage stamp bits. Okay, so we've got all our bits cut now. Let's put this away. Let's bring my card blank in. And I've still got all this left. And I had another piece left as well. Somewhere. It was here. So yes, I've got all those pieces left to still work with. So to do that, just that one piece, but the A5 piece, is a really good idea because it does give you lots to work with then. Now I'd pre-cut my bits of cardboard, and now I've lost, oh no, there it is. Right, so first of all, let's stick onto our postage. Oh, that's lovely that everyone sent all those messages. It's such a lovely group, isn't it? It really is. Okay, so we can pop these into the centre of our postage, making sure we can still see our stitch marks. So make sure you have trimmed it correctly. And then I'm going to, so I don't want to get glitter all over my fingers, or the pearly bit, the mica. Firm that down, and then I can pop my piece of cardboard, which is going to lift this up. I lifted all the elements up on my first card, but I didn't mean to lift the little ones up, so I'm going to just glue those down flat. So I'm still using Jenny's cardboard, so Jenny, thank you so much for that. Let's fill this one in. Again, just make sure that you can see your black stamped lines, because you do want to be able to see that. And firm that down. And then I've got a couple of bits of cardboard for this. Just using all the little bits up. It was nice, about the right size, so perfect. Oh, you know what I've done? I've cut it so that the picture's going up and down, and I want it to lay on its side. Does it matter? No. Of course it doesn't. Only we'll know. I was thinking of the original one. So you do have to think which way up you want things as well when you're cutting them. And if you were really unsure and you're not worried about making lots and lots of cards, you could always lay your postage on the top and just cut them out, like draw around them. Okay, comes to something, doesn't it, Jenny, when you can recognise your own cardboard? Oh dear, I never thought I'd be a cardboard snob, but I am. Okay, it is unique. Most of my cards are. If you spot the mistakes. Right, can we alter it or not? Let's have a little thing. I mean, we could alter it. It still works for all the stamping that we've done. And it's still changing it because I had the little square at the top last time. Let's, all right, we will alter it because I do want, the pattern looks so lovely straight. Okay, so how about if we did that? That would be okay, wouldn't it? And then we've got my butterfly, which can cut, actually the butterfly could, yeah, or we could. I do like, it's a funny thing with the design, like the layout, I do like to have the heavy things, so like the bigger things towards the bottom. And so I was going to change those over and put those down there. It's not bad actually. I wanted one round that way, didn't I? I wonder if we could. Obviously, you could play for hours, couldn't you? It'd be like a jigsaw puzzle. It doesn't look. It doesn't. There's something about it. It doesn't look as pleasing to me. Right. You're probably all screaming at me. Yes, leave it. I quite like that because it's at a different height. Did we have that up there? I can't remember now. See, you could just play for hours, moving things around. Maybe we could have one of those down there. Yeah, no. Maybe it was that. That's why I take photographs of my cards, you know. Yeah, I quite like it working like that. Right, that's going to be it. Move the thin long one to the bottom left. And then we could have like that. Shall I not worry about my stamping quite so much? Don't know now. Ooh, Jenny. Oh, goodness. Right, come on, it's only the positioning of them. No, I think I'm... Sorry, Jeanette. Okay, we're taking a vote. Right, shall we do this? This is number 1. Okay. Or shall we do number 2? Please vote now. And then we'll pop it together. So 1 or 2. Jeanette agrees now. I think it's because I did the stamp. Oh, you like that number 1? Okay, let's just give people a chance to say 1 or 2. 1, okay. I forgot what 1 was. Oh, I can't have forgotten what 1 was. Okay, so that's, put that back up there. I think that was 1, wasn't it? Right, you're all, so far it's all been 1. Right, I think that was it, or roughly it. Okay, we'll go with that, yeah? I hope so. Right, let's put my square on, because I know that that is going to go in there. So I'm going to do a nice border. I'm not actually over the top, so I don't know if it's straight. Let me just stand up. Yep. And then I'm going to put my big one, because I need to make sure that that's positioned nicely. Let's make sure my card is straight. So we'll overlap that a little bit. Yeah, maybe decide on where you want to put them before you do your stamping, because I think if I'd have had, I could have moved this down. I think it would have looked nice over there, but it didn't quite work with how I'd stamped it. Make sure you get it up the right way. So I am going to, is that straight? I think so. I'm going to come in line there, and then I am just going to put these flat on the card this time. You could raise them up, obviously. So I'm going to have that little bit down there. Actually, I wonder, I might swap that round. Can I get that off quickly? Because that's like a bottom of a stem, and this is like a flower, so that would work well together. Let's get that up as high as I can. Pop this one back on, because you've almost got like the following on of the flower on that one. Okay, so that's what we're going with. I'm going to curl and shape. Did I colour this? No, I haven't coloured that. Or have I? No, I didn't colour it. Okay, a little bit of... Let's move my card in case it sprays everywhere. So just a little tiny bit of Pearl spray. Pick that up with my paintbrush and just colour in the butterfly wings. Try not to get it on the actual body, because if you do, it will go sparkly, and the black will be, it won't be black, it will cover the black up a little bit. It is a bit opaque, I think is the word. Yes, because it's translucent or opaque, isn't it? Right, so I'm just going to block this so that I don't get mica everywhere, but it's gone lovely and sparkly. So it's got that lovely shimmery pearl to it. And then I'm just going to curl the wings and just squish the body So I make it so that the body is got that flat edge just on his body bit, and then it's nice to glue that bit down. Right, so then I was going to come back in with my flower stamps. I was going to add a few more flowers, so I've still got some blue ink on here, so let's start with the blue. Again, bottom left corner, so that I don't ink up the stamp that I don't want inked. So I'm going to have one here, I'm going to have one over here, and one down the bottom here, I think. And then just one up here. Whoops. Oh, that was lucky, because I had better to move the stamp to the other side. Let me show you what I mean. Let's put the lid on that one. Right, let's add our pinks. So again, bottom left. So just when you're stamping, just make sure you've got clearance of the card so that you know you can stamp where you want to stamp and get a nice impression without it not laying properly. Oh, not a pink one. Well, let's have a pink one down here. There we go. Right. And then we'll just add a couple of purples. They don't all have to be doubles or anything. You can have some single flowers, but again, bottom left. Get in the habit of doing bottom left corner. I'm going to have a single purple one up here. And I might just have a single purple, because it's hiding. I think that's okay. Maybe just right on the edge. There we go. Right. Okay, so now I'm going to pick up my liquid pearls, which is the platinum one. I've had it sitting, it's nearly empty, so I've had it sitting in a position like so it's all down in at the nozzle end. Now with my liquid pearls, it gets blocked up quite easily, so I always have my wire ready, and I tend to put the wire in it just to make sure it's working okay. And then on a scrap piece of card, before you go to your card, just test how it's flowing. If it's flowing okay, then come to your card and just touch down in the middle of the daisies, and it's just going to give you that little dimensional pearly centre to them. So just systematically work your way round. Obviously try not to lean on it. Let's get that purple one. And then I just added some random dots as well. You can do singles, doubles, little dot 3 dots, which is what I used to always do. Just filling up, adding a little bit of interest, but without adding too much more to your card. There we go. Right. I love, now there's not a bit of Stickles glitter glue, which is very unusual for me, very unusual. But we've got two different layouts and just beautiful shimmery cards, really easy to do if you love the colouring. Nice to do a bit of colouring and get that pearl shimmer from the spray. From using, this was Diamond Pearl, but the other one that I have as well, if you've got the nacre, I think it means mother of pearl, but that one's nearly gone. But yeah, so any pearl sprays you can do it with. If you haven't got the pearl sprays, if you've got so if you've got any of the glitter pens like this, the brush pens, you can use those to do it with. Or if you've got the Nouveau ones as well, they do it. This one's got a gold shimmer to it, but any of those pens will work. So let me just flip the camera. I hope you've enjoyed that, ladies. I certainly have. I've had a lovely morning, so thank you. I'm going to go make myself a coffee, read all your comments, and if there's anything to answer, I will do. I'd love you to have a go. And if you do, please share it in the Crafty Friends of Julie Hickey Designs, what you create, because it's always lovely to see what you're making. And I just love what you've created with this new collection. It's just wonderful to see all your cards, so thank you. Have a lovely creative day. You should definitely stay out of the sun and have a nice crafty day. You can say Julie said. Anyway, no, take care. Make sure that you drink lots as well, and I will see you again very soon. Take care. Bye bye.